We will do that.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Monday edition of Ask Madam. And tonight we have Gussy Dupp with us from 420 Taro. And
Hello.
I'm taroing you. She is awesome.
Ah, thank you.
We're having tea together.
Yes, we
And
are. Only
yep,
you
we're
have a
having our
fancy
tea.
cup.
Yep. And we're going to start sharing the show. So anytime anybody wants to share the show, I'm down with
Yep,
that. So let's see. Got to
please
go
do.
here. Hmm. Is
I
it
said,
good?
please do. Oh yeah.
Mm. This is my Kelly. All right. Um, this is my grandmother's Denbyware pot. It's Denbyware, and it's made in England. And my aunt carried it all the way from England in her carry-on bag on the plane, and so it wouldn't be broken. And so my grandmother was just thrilled to death.
I love it. I was going to
This is
ask
like,
you what was the specialness about that mug, because when you held it up, I don't even have
mhm,
my I don't have the old specks on the eyes, but I could tell
yeah,
that you like that is a special cup to you. So it's your
oh yeah,
grandmother's.
my grandma.
And so
I have the teapot as well, the big brown teapot, and yeah, the fancy
oh.
stuff.
So do you
Hey, there
mind
we are.
sharing her name? Do you mind sharing her name with us?
My grandmother,
Yeah.
Jessie Richards.
Oh, I love that.
All right, yeah, She never wanted me to name and my child after her. She didn't care for her name. It was Jessie Bates Richards. Well, uh, I said okay. Her maiden name was Meredith, so that's what my daughter's name is.
Oh, I love
So
that. That's
yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
So I didn't use her
Was
first
she
or
alive?
middle name. So
Was she
no,
alive when
she's
your
passed
daughter was
away.
born?
No,
Well, I'm
she was
sure she
passed
knows.
away.
I'm sure
Oh
she
yeah,
knows, and I'm sure she
oh
approves.
yeah, oh yeah. And my other grandma though was alive, and so her middle name is Helen. So for Helen Swanson, Helen Swanson. She was funny. She would call my grandpa, and she'd be like, "Bob, hey Bob, we're gonna be late." This is so funny. She just like herded grandpa around, and he'd be like, "I'm coming." So yeah, they
I
were fun.
I never had a chance to meet any of my actual biological grandparents. They had already crossed by the time I was born. Well, I take
Oh
that
wow.
back. I was 2 when my grandfather passed away, and he
Uh-huh.
was like 96 years old.
Oh
So
wow.
I would love to have been able to be old enough to sit down and hear some of the stories.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I was lucky. My grandparents were young. My parents were young. So
right.
my dad's parents were young, but my mom's parents were older, and I didn't know my grandpa, but my grandma, she was like a mother. She was great. So
That's
yeah, she
awesome.
put up with a lot from me as a child.
My
But yeah.
grandmother, the woman that I consider my grandmother was actually my mother's oldest sister,
Oh
who
wow.
my mom was 8 days old when her mother passed away.
Oh
And
wow.
so she went into foster care for a while. And then when her oldest sister was old enough to take her, uh, she took her on. And so that is the woman that I knew as grandma, although she's my
Oh
aunt.
wow.
So, you
Yeah.
know, if you ever hear
Well,
me referring to grandma,
it's all
it's
about
Grandma
family.
Susie, and that's the lady I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's okay though. And yeah, I had awesome grandparents, and I even had great grandparents. So for a little while, and
That's awesome.
I think my great grandmother Nan was a witch. I really do. I
Yeah.
think the Bates, I think the Bates women have been witches for a long time. But back in the day, you didn't advertise that sort of thing.
No, 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 no.
You just quietly did things, to make the wheels turn.
Right, right.
Yeah, but some people would
Absolutely.
call them like social climbers or whatever, but really they were just ladies looking to increase their fortune and their lot in life. So I you can't fault them for that. But
I
yeah,
no,
I
no,
think they
no.
were. I think they were a spicy group, the Bates ladies. This is my kitty. This
Hi, Kitty. What's your
is
kitty's name?
Sally. That was
Aw.
my mother's name, and then Bob is my other cat, and that was my dad's name. So I have Sally and Bob Swanson.
Yes,
Yeah, I
they're with
know.
you.
It's funny because it didn't even like happen. Like, oh, I'll name my cat for my parents. It didn't. Sally and Bob.
I
All
was
right.
gonna say, I
Um,
mean, did you pick that on purpose or?
No, it was like Bob, it just sort of came, I manifested Bob. By the way, he showed up at my door right when I needed him, and I, he stayed here ever since. And so it just so happened the person that was here, he's like, "Well, what do you think about the name Bob?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's just call
I
him Bob." Because
like it.
yeah, my dad was Bob, grandpa was Bob, my brother's Bob, it's a family name. So I'm like, cool. And then, and they're all gone. Well, yeah, they're all gone. And so then Sally came because we found her like almost on Halloween, and she's black, and she was just like, has these huge orange eyes. And so, well, she's Sally, from A Nightmare Before
Nightmare
Christmas.
Before Christmas. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, Jack's girlfriend was Sally.
Yes. Yes. I love
That's where
that
we
character.
came because she's my spooky Halloween cat. So,
We
but
have
yeah.
a black kitty cat named Boog, although he's not
Oh,
in here with me right now. And then we have a husky named Callie.
uh
And
huh.
I have a funny little story about that. Um she actually traveled from Chihuahua, Mexico. I don't even know how they got her across the border, but they did. She traveled to North Carolina, and
Oh
then from
wow.
North Carolina all the way to Washington to be with
Oh
us.
wow.
She came with one of our elders from our coven at the time.
Uh huh.
She was his dog, and he brought her, along. And then she just became too much to handle on the road.
Oh
She was a
yeah.
husky, so she ended up.
Right.
That was Grimm's 50th birthday present.
Oh wow. There
But
you go.
she owns him, and he owns her. They are quite the pair. They are quite the
Oh
pair.
nice. Well,
But I
a boy and his dog.
Yeah, but her name
Yeah.
was originally Calinette. It's
Uh huh.
it means, and I forget, my French is not great, but it means like little one or something like that. So her name
Hmm.
was Calinette, but we always called her Callie. And we were thinking after he left, we're like, are we going to call her Calinette? And Grimm says, no way. She is Callie, the goddess of chaos through and through. She is. She's
Nice.
a
Well,
handful.
Meredith Hoggard that's my Meredith, and she says, and Toast. Toast is her little cat, and she's black. And I
Oh,
nabbed her when she was just a tiny little kitten. She was in this cat colony in the next town over, and
right.
I was just talking to the neighbor about. She's like, "Yeah, they're terrible. There's so many of them, and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Keep talking." And I snuck over real quiet until I was right up behind her, and I grabbed her, and she was just hissing and trying to get me, and I'm like, nope, you're mine now. And brought her home, and she fell into the furnace because she fell into a duct that was open, and
Oh
but I
no.
could hear her meowing, and it was warm weather, so
Right.
furnace wasn't on.
Oh,
But I could hear her meowing, and so I finally tracked her down, and I took the filter out of the furnace, and there she was. So, but she was fine. And my daughter then, uh, she traveled across Iowa to Ames with my daughter, and now
oh.
she's Meredith's cat. That's her familiar.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
yeah,
That's
and
wonderful.
then
Her
yeah,
name's
so we have
Toast.
Bob, Sally, and Toast.
What kind of a cat is Toast?
Toast is a black cat, just
Oh, also a black
she
cat.
has short hair. And but my Sally has long, and then but Bob has short hair, and they're both black. And Bob's a tuxedo, so he's kind of a
Oh.
special guy. He really does wear a shirt and tie, and like if he shows his belly, he has a tie like in a vest. It's
That's
funny.
cute.
So
That's
yeah,
cute.
he's got his shirt and tie on. So yeah, he's a good cat. He's very Oh, can no, I can't show you toast right now unless Meredith wants to get into the stream. I can send you a link if you'd like to join us for this festival of fun
I have to tell you,
and show off your
our
toast. You could do that. So,
our little cat Boog,
uh-huh.
he is a real special cat too. When he was tiny, like we got him. Well, it's a long story about how he came into our lives, but anyways, he arrived as this little kitten with his eyes barely open,
Uh-huh.
and and I used to participate in this. We had a YouTube channel called Witches, Whiskey, and Weed,
Oh,
and
nice.
we had this. Our table was set for our show every week. We used to live stream every Saturday, or our film every Saturday. I'm sorry, and he would figure out a way to climb up the edge of the tablecloth. And always, whenever we were there doing that, he would always curl up on the table. So we ended up having this, somebody sent us a little round pillow just for Boog, and we had it on there for a long time. He just was our altar cat, you
Oh,
know,
nice.
cool cat.
Well, yeah, and it's good to have living things on your altar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love cats. There's something about cats that just makes you they to me they're like my eyes and ears sometimes, they'll
Yeah.
their comfort and the is
Healing.
actually on a frequency that is a healing frequency for humans.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
when they're in your lap and they're purring, they're actually healing you, So it's
Yes.
a gift.
I,
It's a gift.
I, I absolutely, I absolutely embrace that as well. And I've seen it so often with my own kitties,
Hmm.
especially, this one cat we had one time. Her name was Meowry. She did not like me.
Oh,
She just did not like me. She didn't come around
hmm,
me. She really wasn't a people cat. She just wasn't.
hmm.
But the
Right,
day that my familiar Tegan died, of course I was distressed and distraught and
right,
teary-eyed and heartbroken.
yeah,
And
right.
that night, the one and only night, she came up and laid on my chest for about 10 minutes
Oh
and
wow.
just laid there. And I just,
Hmm,
you know what I mean? I was just so grateful for
hmm,
her. And I knew she knew what she was doing.
hmm.
She absolutely knew what she
Yeah.
was doing.
Oh yeah.
Never said
Because
on me again.
they're familiar spirits too. They're special. And
They
especially
absolutely
Bob.
are.
Bob came to me as a manifestation, and
Right.
uh, and I've been manifesting the life that I've wanted for a long time, and just the things that I have been wanting in life, and I've been doing it probably since I was a kid, but definitely like here lately, I've been really putting the pedal to the metal with the manifesting. So and stuff's happening, and people are coming into my life that needed to for a long time. So,
That's
but
awesome.
you just have to make that stuff happen.
You
I
do.
tell people your life is what you imagine it to be, because you can make it happen, and
Absolutely true.
you just have to take the small steps to make it happen, you know and it's not easy. It's not like manifestation is a gimme. It's not like, oh well, I'm just going to sit here on my couch and it's just going to fall on me.
Right.
Well, sometimes it does, but not always. Sometimes you're
Yes.
sitting, you answer the door and there it is. But you never
Sometimes,
know.
not often,
Yeah.
but sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with Bob. I was going out the door for something else, and I look at I go out there and I look, and it's like there's this cat on my porch. I've never ever seen another animal even on this porch that didn't live here, and
Right.
yeah, Bob was just sitting there waiting for me to let him in and feed him, and I still had food from my cat that had died because I was still like in mourning. I was
Right.
distressed,
Right.
and then and I kept debating, well, do I get a cat, and what would I get? And I holding this little toy cat, and turned out the toy cat looked just like Bob. It was the tuxedo cat. It was just so bizarre. So many things that it's like you have to say it was
Synchronicity.
manifestation.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That
Yeah.
is a lot of what I do with people when I work with them is help them to start recognizing the synchronicities in their lives, because a lot
Right.
of people have lost touch with that. And so
Right.
they say, well, the universe isn't giving me any signs. Well, yes, the universe is. You just
Hmm.
need to tune in a little bit more clearly,
Yes.
to
Yes.
dial it in a little more clearly.
Hmm.
And
And
it's not
it's everywhere, you
always,
know.
what was that?
The sign the signs are everywhere. If you ask for that, you know, if you say, just, creator, give me a sign,
Right,
and it'll come. I mean, it'll come in the form of uh like missed opportunities or things like that. If you're not meant to go on that journey,
right,
things will happen to where you're not going to be on that journey.
right.
Things will stand in your way if things like seem like you're pushing in there, it's too hard, or like that it's just one thing after another. Get in tune with the universe, because that is not what is in the plan for you. you
Exactly,
know
exactly.
if it
I have to tell you,
Meditate on it, go out in nature, just look into yourself and see, maybe you're just not ready for that.
yes, I have a funny story for you if you want to
Oh,
hear it.
let's hear it. Yes.
So, well, I mean, at the time it was like ironically sad also, but it ended up, it's a good story in the end. So let's just know it ends with happy ending. But
Okay, good.
several years
Happy
ago,
ending's good.
yeah, more than several years ago. I mean, this is, when my daughter was 3, and this is not my daughter that I share with Grimm, but my daughter from a previous marriage. And
Uh-huh.
she was like, oh, I'm sorry, she wasn't even 3. She was like almost a year. She was almost turning a year. And
Uh-huh.
I had filed for divorce because I was not in a happy marriage.
Hmm.
Um, and there were things happening, right? But
Hmm.
at the same time, like, I didn't have my ducks in a row, and I was
Hmm.
scared. And I have, at that time, I was working through abandonment issues. And
Hmm.
so, well, I guess I still kind of have those a little bit, I'll be honest, but
Hmm.
I'm working on it. Shadow work, always good.
Exactly. There you
But
go.
I,
All you can do.
I,
Mm.
I had been like just toiling with myself over if this was the right decision or not, if this was the right decision or not. And so I remember that day, like, I cast my circle in front of my altar, and I was just like, please, please send me a sign. And God got us. I don't need just a small sign. I need one of those major big signs. Like, please, please, like a brick. Bam, I need something heavy and
Yes.
and and because that was the day that my husband was supposed to get served papers. So I was nervous as hell, and I was thinking it was the wrong idea, and I just didn't know what to do. Literally, like half an hour later, I get a phone call from my lawyer, and I'm like, oh my God, did you do it? Did you do it? He goes, I'm really sorry to tell you this. He said, we couldn't serve the papers because the way that they had me sign them, the date wasn't correct. And
Okay.
so it was null and void, and we had to start all over again.
Oh no.
And I was like,
Wow.
that's a pretty damn big sign. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
lasted
is.
5 more years in that marriage. But
Well, there you go.
but I
There you
still
go.
thought, I sometimes you need a sign. And now I look back on that and I go, oh, maybe this was a sign that I was supposed to stick to my own resolve. Maybe I
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to look at it as, oh yeah, go ahead and stay there. Maybe I should have
Yeah.
stayed the course, but
Well,
hindsight being what it is.
and sometimes they're meant to take a part of the journey with you, but not the whole journey. And so
Absolutely.
it's like, people come into our lives and they enrich it, or they teach us a lesson, or something, something good comes out of it usually.
Right.
But it's I look at it as, just another player on the stage of life, you know.
Absolutely.
Some take
Another
their bow
chapter
and
in the
go.
story. Another
My
chapter in
daughter
the
said,
story.
she said that she was had a chemistry final, asked the universe to give her a sign if she was meant to be in her major, kept thinking certain if she got a certain score, then that'll be my sign. And she got one more point than she needed to get that score. So she took that as a sign that she was on the right path.
Absolutely.
And I said,
Yep.
that's a good, yeah, that's a good thing to do. Yeah, good choice. Because yeah,
Absolutely.
honestly, I did the same thing. When I took my chiropractic board exams, they were, you know, kind of grueling. You studied for a long time, and you went in there not knowing if you were gonna how you were gonna do, and it's just poke and hope, you know.
Right.
And I said, if I don't pass this exam, I'll know that that's my sign that I'm just to, go find something else to do because this is just not what's for me. And every time I would take a board exam, and there were a lot, I
Mm-hmm.
would pass every one. And I passed state board exams, never repeated any portion of any board exam. I took that as a sign that I was supposed
Yeah.
to be doing chiropractic. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Did
yeah. So
which chiropractic school did you attend?
I went to Palmer College of
That's what I thought
Chiropractic
you were going to say.
in
That's in like
Davenport. Yes.
Chicago, right?
No, it's in Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, it's in Davenport, Iowa, right?
Davenport, Iowa.
My
Yeah. And I
my
actually
older
was a teacher
brother.
there as well. So for
Oh,
12
that's
years, I
cool.
taught at Palmer as well. So yeah.
My brother
Yep.
attended Life Chiropractic College down
Okay,
in
life.
yeah,
That's in Georgia, isn't it?
yeah,
Marietta,
Marietta.
Georgia.
Yep, yep.
Hmm. Yep. We had a few students who had transferred. Some transferred to there, some
Yep,
from there.
yep.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I met a
that's
few
great.
life
So
students.
do you still do that, or are you still
I'm
practicing?
going back to it. I took a little sabbatical from it for when my mother was ill. I was her hospice nurse, and then I had her house to take care of and get ready, for whatever was going to come.
Right,
And
right,
the yard, it took me. It was like a junkyard. I had to clean all that up per the city. They were kind of
right.
jerks, but then last summer I just tried to enjoy being here. And because this summer I'm moving away.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you going again? Do you where are
Somewhere
you
in
headed?
Iowa. So
Okay.
I'm gonna stay in Iowa. I'm gonna find a job in chiropractic. So if
Yeah,
you're
that's
out
great.
there and you're a chiropractor in Iowa and you need some help, let me know. And yeah, I'm into
Yes,
doing some.
please call her.
I'd even do some like fill-in work, for
Mhm.
anybody on maternity leave, or if you happen to need some surgery or something and some time off, just give me a call. Well, you
Give
can
her a
contact
call.
me actually at the scroll on the bottom, skeletonkeywitches@gmail.com, and I will reply promptly. So yeah. Yeah, Meredith, I love that she's using her intuition and listening to her higher self and making, choices like that. Cause yeah, you have to depend on that, and
Mhm,
you have to know that your intuition is right,
mhm.
and I think
Absolutely.
just listening
Gotta
to
trust
it,
it.
it's funny
Gotta
how
trust
sometimes
it.
the first answer that just like bam pops in my head is the right one, because that's what my innate, we call it innate intelligence in chiropractic,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
it's just your higher self
Yes.
telling you what the right answer is. Boom. But then you overthink it and go, oh, that couldn't be the
That's
right
where you
answer.
get
It's the
stuck.
first one I
Right.
thought of.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that
We get in
crazy?
our
And
own
we
way
can
so
guess
many
ourselves
times.
out of a good decision.
Right. We get in our own way.
Hmm. Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
yes. I
So
love it when
anyway,
I recognize that, though. I love it when I recognize that in myself so that I can try my best to get out of my own way,
yeah,
and get things
exactly.
flowing again. So,
Yes. Yeah, because I'd say probably, most of the failures I've had in life were because I was standing in my own way, and I didn't see things the way, I needed to move forward. I had
to take
a
the
block
opportunity.
basically.
Right. You
Yeah,
didn't know how to take the opportunity. It didn't
yes. Yeah.
register. Yeah.
Right. And you just don't always know what the right decision is. It's not always going to just jump out at you. But that's when you have to meditate on it and contemplate things and do your little pros and cons and things like that, and
Right.
then just hope for the best. And as if the way seems easy, then I think that's the way to go. You know what I mean? Like if things just start falling into place, it's like you make this call or you make that plan, and it's like that's falling into place with everything else you had planned. It's like,
Yes.
golly, and I think that's when you're on the right path.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
When
think
you're
there's
in
a
the
plan
flow,
for everybody. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how long, when did you decide that you were a witch?
Well, some members of my family would tell you that it was decided for me a long time ago, but I think
Mm.
I've always been a little bit of the black sheep of my family. That doesn't
Yeah,
mean, however, that I identified as a witch at that time, but I knew
right.
that I had different abilities than some of the
Mhm,
other kids that I played with,
mhm,
and I used to scare
right.
the shit out of them. I wouldn't get invited for sleepovers because I would hear spirits, and it was
Oh my gosh.
so
Yeah.
as I grew older, though, and I was raised in a Lutheran home, um,
Lutherans are
and
cool. My
Lutherans
grandparents
are
were
cool.
Lutherans. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great people.
So that was my background, and as I grew older, though, and I had more experiences with the paranormal and just
Mhm,
doing my own reading and research on different, philosophies and religions, and always, like every other little girl that I know,
uh-huh,
just
yeah.
drawn completely to the story about the Salem witch trials. And,
Oh
I was
yeah.
always inquisitive and curious, and I loved witchy poo. And you remember that? You remember
Yes,
witchy
I
poo?
do. Yes, I do. I made I made a sculpture, and the face on it looks like HR Puffin stuff.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Well,
I know, right?
I loved all of that, and when I was about 16 years old, I decided, well, I'll honestly say this. I remember I was on the playground. I was 12 years old. It was a rainy and kind of chilly day, and I was on the
Mm,
swing by myself. My best friend was out ill, and I was on my
mm.
back. You know how you used to lay on your back and put your feet up in the air on the swings and
Yeah.
try to hang upside down? I was doing
Yep.
that, and all of a sudden I
I still
remember
do that.
thinking, "Do you? Great." I don't know,
I
my
have
butt's
swings
too
in my
big now.
basement. I have playground swings in my basement.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. I love it.
I feed my inner
I
child. I feed my inner
I
child
love
all
it.
the time.
Maybe I could hook something in this bus. I don't know. It's kind
I'm
of a low
saying,
clearance.
summer's coming. You probably got a tree somewhere. You can put a rope and some.
That's true.
Yeah,
Anyways, at that time, I remember like looking at the world upside down and thinking about how just kind of different I was from a lot of the other kids. And they always thought I was weird, but curious. But I remember thinking maybe I'm a witch or something. And then several years later, I actually consciously made the decision that although I knew I was still going to go to Lutheran school or Lutheran
right.
church, and I actually ended up attending for my undergrad degree, I went to a Lutheran college. And
Hmm.
so,
Oh, no, oh,
um,
cool.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
that's
I
cool.
also knew that I knew too much and felt
Hmm.
too much presence
Right,
of spirit and my connection to the divine to think
right,
that I could just be a Christian. I couldn't
right.
just be a Christian. I knew too much.
I think Jesus was a swell guy, and he
Oh, I
probably
think
did
he
a
was
lot of
too.
really cool stuff. He could have been a chiropractor. He could
He
have
was
adjusted
definitely
Lazarus, and then he got well. He wasn't quite dead, something like that. I don't know.
something
But I
like
said,
that.
well, or he could have been a wizard, he could have been like,
Well, he
a witch
was.
himself, and he
I'm
worked
sure that
miracles.
that's what I know it's kind of blasphemous to some people to hear us say that, but
Yeah.
we know he was a Gnostic. We know that
Yeah.
he somehow obtained the title rabbi and obtained the title
Yeah.
Christos, which was not his last name or anything.
Right.
Um, and also, he was a great prophet, and he changed the lives of millions of people.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
so yeah, absolutely. Was he a
And that's what I was
witch?
thinking. He's probably a pretty swell guy, you know.
I'm sure he smoked some weed, and I'll bet you he used crystals.
Probably did. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because
Mineral.
he knew that rocks have groovy vibrations.
Yes, he did. I am
So
sure he
yep.
did. I'm sure
Oh,
he
I'm
did.
sure.
And I
I'm
love
sure
the
he was in tune with
chiropractic
nature,
thought.
you know.
I love the idea that he might have been a chiropractor of some sort. Look at
Well,
that.
it
Now
said
you can walk again.
he healed with his hands, you know, that he
Yes,
laid
he did.
hands upon them and he
Yep.
healed them. And
Yep.
so I kind of, you know, not that I'm Jesus, you know,
No.
but
Or like
no, no. But
A Reiki or energy
but I
healing
kind of
type of.
I feel like that energy, you know, like you might feel, you know, when you're healing someone, because
Right.
you know, you give them a part of your energy, you know, and you
Mhm.
kind of release their own energy to then go out and heal the body, you know.
Yes.
So it's all about the energy, you know.
It really is. It
Yeah,
really is. That's
yeah,
why when you reached out to me and said that you felt like we kind of vibed, I'm like,
yeah.
cool. Because I love it when I, meet people that we just kind of get each other. And, it's one of
Hmm.
those things. I was just talking about this on 420 Tarot today. I meet so many people that will start talking and they'll go, Gussy, I feel like I've known you forever. And
Yeah,
I'm like, well, you
yeah,
probably have. I've been around for a really long time.
yeah.
I keep coming.
Well, yeah. I've had past lives. I know I have, because I have memories sometimes, just like
Yeah,
flashes, you know, of
yeah,
memory. And I know it was real, you know. Oh, here's something.
yes.
What do you think about this? Okay. Today it was a weird day, and there was a couple things. It was like I had like I was in a different dimension, you know. It was the same but different, you know. It was just real weird, almost like a jump in time or space somehow. And I mean, I would be like standing there, but think something was different than when I had put it there. You know what I mean? Like I set it down, I went back to get it, and it was different somehow. I
Yes,
don't know.
yes.
I know there's spirits out in my, and I think that it's like a station or I don't know, a portal maybe out in my shop. You can hear voices and stuff, but it was just a
Oh,
weird thing. What is your take on that? Because it happened to me twice today where I had that feeling. You know,
well,
wasn't
I have two thoughts on that, actually. And um, one is that, hold on, I sometimes get messages, so I have to stop and listen. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So did you have somebody in your family close to you or someone that you knew with G or J, some name with a curl?
Jay was my grandmother. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
Jess. Jess,
Because
remember Jesse
oh
Richards?
yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I just saw a J, like a flourish J. And
Hmm.
then there is someone here with me, or us actually, because we're like in a liminal space here online. It's
Hmm.
really interesting. So hold on, I wanted to say um that you already know this. You already know this completely, but she just definitely wants you to know that she is with you. She is
Hmm.
with you a lot. She
Hmm.
considers you, she wishes she could have taught you more.
Hmm.
She wishes that she could have spent more time with you. You have a lot of spunk like she did, but she wasn't really allowed to show it too much, like
Hmm.
she had to keep things kind of on the down low. Now, so you were asking me about those kind of time warpy moments.
Yeah.
Some people would say, and thank you, Grandma. Some people would say she wants to make sure we know she's here. So yes,
Yeah.
please know that your grandmother is with you. Okay. Okay.
Oh, nice. And
Yes.
I kind of, you know, I get that sometimes.
Yeah, you feel it. I'm sure you feel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So so some people are, you know, interpreting what's happening right now
Uh-huh.
as, and a lot of us know, or we all know, or those of us that are witches know that the veil is at
Mhm.
the thinnest it's been. Some
Mhm.
folk consider that it's kind of collapsing on itself, so that you are seeing from minute to minute or second to second variations kind of lined up, and so you might walk out of one
Oh.
scenario and walk
Yeah.
right into another one.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. The other one is
Mhm.
it has to be the Matrix.
Yeah. I
You know,
know.
I
I
mean,
said one day, I said, you know what? I feel like I woke up from the Matrix. And people I've heard, that have a spiritual awakening, a lot of times that's how they describe it. I woke
yes,
up from the Matrix one day and
right.
I was just like, wow, I didn't even see half this stuff. I didn't even know it was here. I didn't, it's like you just wake up and you look at things with different eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about quite a bit, probably those that follow me get sick of me here saying it because I talk about it a lot. But
Yeah.
when when scientists have been able to measure the amount of perceivable visible input that humans can on average perceive,
Uh-huh.
we can only see about 3% of the known visible universe. 3%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means 97% of the other stuff
Mhm.
out there we can't even see. That's why I tell folks
Isn't it
when they're like,
crazy?
oh my God, I'm seeing shadow people. I say, calm down. They've been there all along.
Mhm.
You're just now
Right.
seeing them for the first time. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. You're still
Right.
powerful and strong.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I do believe that there has been a shift, and part of this awakening does involve you know, as your consciousness and your awareness improves and increases,
Mhm.
you see things
Mhm.
from a higher perspective, your vibration
Mhm.
shifts, and it also improves. You
Yep.
see things from a different viewpoint, and
Yeah.
suddenly you can't go back. Just like I
Right.
said, I couldn't go back to being simply a Christian because
Right.
I knew beyond that, and I couldn't go back to there are some days, I'll be honest with you, there are some
Uh-huh.
days I wish I could go back and just have that
Uh,
simple,
right. That simple
you know,
view of the world.
all you got to
But
do is pray for
yeah.
forgiveness and God will love you anyways. But it's not that
Right.
simple.
No, it's not. And
It
then
really
there
isn't.
comes to play things like karma.
Yes.
And yeah, I've been karma's bitch at times. Meaning that she recruits me and like literally tells me like in many ways, you need to go do this. And so it's not always a direct involvement, but a lot of times I maybe have set wheels in motion, but
Hmm.
it's all karma. And if I'm told to do it, I that's it. And I don't know why, but I work for karma. And if I don't do it, bad things will happen to me. So I
To
just
me,
sometimes have
karma,
to set the
karma
wheels
is
in
balance.
motion.
It's
Yeah.
balance. That's what gray witchery is. That's
Yeah.
why I
And
consider myself a gray witch. Right
me
there.
too. Yeah, me too. And it's like balance, the Libra, the scales, we're all about balance, and we're happy when we're balanced.
We really are. And you know what? We should tell these folks that are here with us that we found
Mhm.
out as we were talking that we share the same damn birthday.
Yes, isn't that incredible that we have the
Only
same
you're a
birthday
year older
different
than
year?
me.
Yes,
Yeah.
a year before. So I said I was had a face full of cake when you were born.
Yeah, you had a face full of cake and I was
Yeah.
popping out. But
Yep, yep.
that was a really interesting coincidence, and not at all a
Yeah.
coincidence. I don't believe in that. So, but I
No,
loved it. I love it.
yeah. I think we
I
were
love it
destined
when
to meet at some point,
I do
because
too.
people come into your life for a reason. And
They
I
absolutely
think that
do.
it's there's always a reason for people to yeah, I know. She's shut the front door. Oh, it's actually shut the front door, but yeah, I get the picture.
Please don't shit the
It's
front
funny.
door.
That's funny.
Unless,
Yeah.
especially not if it's a purple door.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I have a pink and black door because
Oh,
my signature colors is Madame are like hot like neon pink and black. And so I painted my front door that way. And then yeah, it's I don't know what the man who's, gonna be living here well, I don't think it I think he's not gonna live here right away because I think he's gonna fix stuff like the pink and black door.
yeah. That's
So
funny.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
We have had a purple door. Well, I don't know about Grimmer, but I've had Grimm's my husband. I've had a
Mhm.
purple door since, gosh, I mean, my first, I think maybe not the first house. I think I left, that one was natural wood. So I
Mhm.
couldn't paint that one. I just couldn't paint it. But
Oh
after
no.
that, I've owned several homes and lived in several places. And every time we have a purple door, even our
Mhm.
bus has a purple door. And
Nice.
in 2000 and whenever, when Facebook was starting to come out with groups and all that, we
Uh-huh.
started the purple door on
Yeah.
Facebook. And that group's been
Well,
rolling pretty strongly for all those years, which I'm kind of proud of. It has its own little
nice.
ups and downs, but
Uh-huh.
everything does.
Yeah.
Everything
Oh
does.
yeah, you bet. Yeah, everything. It's like an ebb and flow.
It really is. I know you've
So,
got some comments coming in there.
yes, Jennifer Mice says she had many friends leave her, but Gussie stayed her friend. So, yeah. So that's nice. That's very
Sometimes you
nice.
got to look past what's what looks like the obvious and look
Yes, I
into
know.
what is
Yes.
real.
I know, and I have friends like that, right now they're real, true friends. And if I wouldn't have, if I would have just like stopped at the obvious, I probably
Yes,
wouldn't, have made a really good friend. I would have missed out on a really good friend. And so,
right.
yeah, I never judge, and I don't label. I just take people for who they are, and at face value, and hope that you're presenting yourself at face
Right.
value.
I haven't always
So,
been that way. I look back on
yeah,
my younger days. I was kind of a catty bitch sometimes, but I feel like part of owning crone for me is
yeah,
getting past all that need to criticize
yeah.
and put other people down.
Yes.
It's
And you
just a
realize
waste
that
of
you don't
my
have to
energy.
lift yourself up by putting someone else down.
Right,
And I love the crone. I heard you say that the other day. And I kind of am starting to, view myself in that fashion,
right,
as the crone. And it's
right.
like, it's okay. It feels
Oh,
good. Because
it
along with
does.
that comes experience and knowledge, wisdom, temperance, just all those things that you gain, I think, if you're wise and
And
you get
the
older.
right, and the freedom to, can I swear on your show?
Go ahead,
And
just
the
fucking do
freedom to
it.
not give a fuck.
Yeah,
The freedom to not give
that's
a fuck.
right.
So
Yep,
maybe I
we're not.
will hang a swing.
Do it. You should. You got to feed your inner child, and it just
That's
makes me
right.
feel so good. On my little playground swinging back and forth with my kitty on my lap. Yeah, it's just great. So, and it is crone energy is freeing. So,
It is.
oh yes. And I don't, I don't criticize, but yes, you have to work hard to just be humble, and that's all
Yeah.
I can say. Because
Yes.
remember that it all comes from the divine.
Right.
And
Right.
we're just little human beings down here, hoping for the best. And if you can put yourself in tune with the higher power, then you can make things happen more easily. But just remember that we're all in this together, and we're just humans, and
We sure.
stay humble.
I, I always tell one of the Grim and I teach, we take apprentices on and have for a couple of years now. And one of the things that we always teach right away
Mhm.
is about hubris. You've
Yeah.
got to guard how large you allow your vanity in this to become, because it
Right.
can feel very powerful. And a lot of us are really
Hmm.
drawn at first. We're drawn to the dark and the shadow, and we
Hmm.
feel like really intrigued by that. And so we follow
Hmm.
that path for a while. And we
Yeah.
do feel powerful. And when you're in a ritual, you do feel empowered. But we have to
Yeah.
remember, like you said, we are all starting, with the same, we're all made of the same stuff. There is no
Yes,
one
we
that
are.
is, above another.
Right.
And so hubris in magic, I think, is extremely important to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yes, I think
Extremely.
so too. Yeah. I mean, just because you can make things happen doesn't mean that, you're God by any means, You just learned how to tune in and how to take steps towards the things that you want,
Right. Right.
and how to read the signs from the divine. Sometimes it's just being patient and learning, some lesson that you still needed. Maybe you didn't do some inner work and you didn't work on, being the gratitude, that you should
Right. Right.
feel,
Right.
or the humility at just, how small you are in the universe. And I think that if you're not ready, then things don't come. So the delay was for you so that you could get ready, and
Exactly.
make yourself, maybe you needed some education and you needed to get that, so you would be ready for that path. And you just have to, follow the signs, listen to your intuition, and get moving.
Take action. That's what magic is.
Yeah.
Action and
Yes, it is.
intention.
Action.
Action plus
Yeah.
intention.
For
So,
sure. And magic does happen, for sure. And anybody, they try to tell us that magic isn't real. You get to a certain age, and they try to tell you, oh, be a
ghosts
grown
aren't
up now, and
real.
yeah, and ghosts aren't real, and magic's not real. And I'm here to tell you that was a lie. Magic
Yeah.
is real, and you can tap into it if you just work on what's inside of here first.
Hmm.
So, because that's where it comes from. It comes from inside of us. I mean, we have so much energy potential inside of us that it's unreal. I mean, it's incredible. The things that humans could do if we truly tapped into all the energy that's available inside of us. So, yeah.
I can't wait. I'm
I know, right?
working on it. I'm working on it.
Well, and I think a lot too comes after we crossed into the next realm. I think
Yep.
a lot of our potential is actually realized in the afterlife.
I'm
So,
absolutely positive that's what happens. But in the
yeah.
meantime, I'm still going for broke. I'm going for all of it. I I really, really, I'm really focused right now on trying to heal
Hmm.
my body. And
Yeah.
I have a long time chronic illness that
Hmm.
I would just like to shake. I've had this since I was one, and I
Oh,
know that I
wow.
came into this lifetime with it,
Yeah.
so I know this is a deeper one that I need to trace some steps back and do,
Yeah.
you know, do some work, do some shadow work. But
Yep.
I'm really, I always tell burning at the cross is hard on the lungs. That is true. Um, but I've been trying to get the word out there for quite a while that, in order for yourself to heal, you have to believe that you can first. You have to believe in the magic. If you
Yeah,
don't
you
believe
do.
in that,
If you
then
don't believe it, it won't happen.
it's not going to
That
come
is
to
the
you.
first thing. You have to
Right.
have utter faith in yourself and the universe that things are going to happen. Yeah.
Yes. Or
Yeah.
it's just stagnant and you just kind of go in a
Hmm.
loop, loop and loop.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
gee, now we're
Yes.
back on that matrix concept again.
I know, right? Because
Oh,
I kind of was stuck on the loop. I was stuck in the loop because I wasn't ready, for what was
yeah,
to come. But
right.
now I'm getting ready. I'm almost ready. I'm nearly there.
Me
And
too.
I know it's like I'm so excited, but that's the thing. I'm excited about life and living, and I'm excited about the possibilities of what's to come. And I think that's part of making magic. And getting things to happen, you know, is
I
being
agree.
excited. You got to increase your vibration.
You gotta be as, in your positive space as much as you
Yes.
can be.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of hard amongst the chaos here, but I'm making it happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, and
Yeah.
the global uprest right now isn't really
Yes.
helping at all. And if
No, it
anybody out
isn't.
there is even a smidge empathic, you're picking up on
Mm-mm.
all of the distress and unsettled feelings and
Yeah.
fear and
Yeah.
grief, and it's just really
Yeah.
gotta. I always consider it like putting on a spiritual condom,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
making
I
sure
have
I'm
a bubble. I
protected.
go inside of my bubble, you
Yeah,
know?
we
Yeah.
taught our children, all of our children. Did you teach your children about bubbles?
No, because I didn't do that stuff back then. I think I intuitively, taught her protection things, and I did wear
You probably did.
crystals and stuff. She's got my rose quartz. It was like in an eagle claw, and it
Oh,
was a
cool.
round rose quartz, and you could spin it, So she wanted to have that, and I gave it to her. So, I always wore crystals, and I always like did things, and I've been manifesting since like the first time I remember was when I was 10, that it stands out to me because I manifested a little brother. And, it was funny because everybody thought I had been told, but I said, no, I wanted a brother and I always get what I want. Well, that was kind of like just a prophetic statement, because I didn't have any idea, and just as time went on, looking back at it, it's like, wow, I did that a lot. I just didn't realize I was doing it. And my friend, who's a witch as well, uh, one of the founders of the Skeleton Key Network,
Mhm.
Terry Wilson, she is a witch as well. We were in high school together, junior high school, and we hung out together. And I'm sure we did stuff, but we didn't call it witchcraft,
We
and we
didn't call
just
it that. No,
no, but we
it
were,
didn't.
we made things happen as well,
Yeah,
and I think it's just I said I've led a charmed life, and I really have, because the magic's always been there. So since I was little, yeah,
that's
and so
wonderful. It's great
it's
that
been
you
that way,
recognize it.
kind of for you too.
Yeah, in a different way though. My life has had a darker, a darker sense to it.
Hmm.
I've had a lot of death in my
Mm,
family and around me, and
yeah.
and I didn't quite understand that when I was younger until I started to realize that, I am a death walker. I
Hmm.
do. And I decided to take some classes and get some certifications a few months or years ago because
Hmm.
I thought, you know what, I've way too much of this around me that
Yeah.
I think this was a sign from the universe all along. It's not
Yeah.
everybody's cup of tea, but
Yeah.
I've crossed quite a large number of people over through the years, and
Hmm.
it's it's an honor and a blessing to do that. But
I bet.
I'm
Yeah.
just beginning to understand.
Hmm.
Um, there's so much to the whole process, and we as
Hmm.
humans can only really fathom just such a small portion of it.
Yeah.
So,
I know, right?
but
Yeah, it's incredible. Our experience, we think, is so vast, but it's really so incredibly focused and small.
I
That's why I
know
think we come back again and again. I think that's why we have past lives, so that
we
we
do.
can try to experience the things, or maybe get things, learn the lessons we didn't learn
Right,
in the
learn it,
life
do it
before.
right this time.
Yeah,
Improve it this
and
time around.
level up.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're given an opportunity right now to heal, you know, generational trauma, ancestral trauma, call it hexes if you will, or,
Hmm.
behavioral patterns in families that kind of follow
Yeah.
generations from generation. I think that our
Yeah.
where we are right now, we're being given that opportunity to heal it for generations
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
and the ones behind us. You know,
Yes.
it's such an exciting time to be here and doing. What did I just do with my? Oh, thank you. It's so exciting to be here, but it's so, um, gosh, there is so much chaos. So
I know. And
if
as
you're
you're right, as an empath, it gets to you a little bit, and you have to learn how to compartmentalize it a little bit, and decide, well, that's not really me. That's, just me picking up on stuff. And usually
yeah,
I'll listen to the news or something. Like I listen to NPR. I don't watch television news at all. I don't watch television at all. Haven't
right.
in about 3 years, maybe almost 4, I think. I don't dig it. There's nothing on television that interests me at all. So, and it's all just for entertainment's sake, really. I know it's like bread and circuses. You give them food stamps and a TV and some cable. People don't cause any trouble. It's sad, but it's true. You know. So yeah, it's like bread and circuses with Rome. But yeah. To be to be full circle to a bit up, a bit down, a bit of all. Yes. Yes, full circle. Yeah, I've had those moments as well. Where it was like, well, when I graduated from Palmer and then I came back as an instructor and I taught with some of like the people who were my instructors.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my God, they're my colleagues now. And it was one of those full circle moments, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it was fun. Tell me about a full circle moment that you have had.
Oh boy. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of living it right now because when I first met my husband, he and I, we talked about all kinds of dreams that he
Hmm.
had been married and divorced twice. I had been married and divorced twice. We both had children from our second marriages. So,
Hmm.
uh, we were talking about our dreams and goals. And one of the things he said to me was he remembers his dad was a Marine. And whenever he was stationed stateside, in the
Hmm.
summer, he would get, I don't know, like 6 weeks off, and he would take his family on long, long road trips across the country.
Nice.
And so Grimm always wanted to do that. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, that sounds beautiful, but ooh, I
Hmm.
can't imagine living in a little, ew.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can go camping for the weekend, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
slowly over time, our dream began to kind of meld into one where we can travel in our bus and meet
Hmm.
interesting people. Like, when I'm coming to Iowa, I'm going to look you up. And,
Yeah.
but
Well,
that kind of
I'll be RV living myself, so maybe we can meet halfway or something.
awesome. 'Cause our whole dream is to actually have kind of a little traveling sideshow witchy caravan, like we would love
Fun.
to have more than just us in our bus
Uh-huh.
driving along. We'd love to
Yeah.
have other people join us. So absolutely
Sure.
grab your
Yeah.
RV and go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'd be about a month.
Oh, really?
So
You're moving that
it's
quickly?
yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
everything's going very quickly. I mean, the house didn't even hit the market. It didn't even get past word go.
Well,
Because my location is extraordinary.
it is
And
extraordinary.
and
Yes.
the house itself it needs a lot of stuff, but if someone was ambitious and handy and looked at it as a project, a labor of love, let's say, then they would have a very lovely home for years and
Gorgeous.
years to come.
Right.
So yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
But I'm
are
excited for the
you
guy who's getting it. He's really I think gonna have a lot of fun here and a lot of good memories. And I'm leaving him some good juju so that
good?
everybody will be safe and happy. So
Are you leaving it with any shadows in the closets yourself, or
no, I worked through all of that as I'm leaving. So yeah, it's been incredible.
Positive
But it
momentum.
was my mother's dream, not mine.
Right.
And I'm heading out to mine.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm taking advantage of the situation I have to make my dream come true, and that's
Yeah.
manifestation. That's manifestation right there.
Yes, it is.
So
Absolutely.
cheers,
Yeah.
to everyone. Cheers to
Cheers
making
to everyone.
making good things happen in your life,
Here's
because
to
you can
that.
do it. Anybody can do it, and if you'd like to learn how, you can send me an email to skeletonkeywitches@gmail.com.
Or me. And join me
Oh
at
yes, give us
420
your
Tarot.
information. Yeah, give us your information about
You can
you're on 420 Tarot.
420 Tarot on Facebook. I don't do TikTok. I refuse.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and
You
so you won't
should
find
show
me
your
there.
show. You should broadcast your show to the Skeleton Key Network. I would love it if you'd, or share it to the Skeleton Key Network and be on our network as well.
I would love it. Will you talk to my
Yeah.
tech team, i.e. Grim?
I will. Yeah, sure. Sure, you got, after the show, just stick around and we'll
Okay.
chat, and I'll tell you how to get hooked up
Yeah,
with
that
Skeleton
sounds
Key.
great.
So we got
That
a new
sounds great.
Skeleton Key witch, everyone.
Woo! Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I do 420 Tarot, Gussy and Grim on Facebook, Instagram. I don't do much on Instagram though. I'm really lame because I
don't do
I
Instagram.
am though, because I'm busy. I'm busy teaching, and I teach witchcraft like you're talking about. I teach that.
Yeah.
I do one-on-one readings for people and shadow work
Yep.
and energy healing. So that takes up so much of my time. But
Right.
I'm so
So
blessed
how do
to
they
be living this
contact
life.
you?
Facebook is the best way. Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Gussy Dupp, Facebook Messenger, easiest way.
Okay.
Or
All right.
or ask to join the Purple Door, which is my Facebook group.
Oh,
The one
okay,
I told
great.
you about
Purple
that's been
Door.
around forever.
Okay, awesome. And we are our group is 4 Witches by Witches, or it's by Witches for Witches. I think it's
Okay.
by Witches for Witches, something like that. That's our little Skeleton Key group of people, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can advertise if you got things that you're selling, tinctures or charms or whatever. That's fine, and we have people advertise. You can advertise your show. You can post your show to that group.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so there's
Thank you.
that'd be great too. And so awesome. That's how they can get a hold of you. And
Yep.
we're at 58 minutes, so we're gonna have to sign off with
Sounds
the
good.
audience.
Yeah.
And go off live, but stick around because we're gonna chat some more. And maybe they can catch some after stuff on Patreon. I have a Patreon. We'll talk about that later.
I've got one too, but I always forget about it.
I know, right? Dang it. You got to post the links and stuff. Yeah, that's
I gotta
that'll be
work
my
it,
next
baby.
thing.
I don't know how to work it yet. I gotta work.
I know.
I've only been
I'm
trying to
still
figure this
working
out
on
for
stuff.
like 10 years.
Yeah, I know,
I'll
right?
get there.
We'll all get there. And if you keep trying, you will get there. So I think that's the message that we want to send. Keep trying, you'll get there. And if you need help, you can reach out to either one of us. And
absolutely.
witches@gmail.com. Come see me on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock for Madam After Dark. And we'll be a little bit naughty. So, yeah.
Talk about
good night, everybody.
And
right, I know. And blessed be everybody.
Stay magical. Thanks for having me. It was fun. Bye, everybody.